case, which is a little bit of a confusing situation. But nonetheless, let's leave that topic there for now because I want to get to
one more thing. So we have immediate need that we're talking about. We have the recovery, which will be ongoing, economic recovery, and how can we be helpful there. But we also have that economic recovery. Part of that is to address the health needs in Puerto Rico, which we have an important, shall we say, appropriation that we have to make immediately to meet the Medicaid clip, what is called the Medicaid clip. I mean, maybe more than most people want to know about the subject. But there are all kinds of ways that we're coming at it with the disaster assistance, with the health needs, and then the board do its job. But we can talk some more about it. It's very tough because the vultures are.
Let's do that one more in the break because I want to get to another topic right now, okay? DACA, the Deferred Action rules that are going to expire now. What are we going to do about it going forward? You came out with Chuck Schumer and said, we have a deal with the president on DACA. He then stepped back of it. From right now, do you think that there is a deal on the table right now? What's the political reality?
What we said out of the room is that we have an agreement on the DREAM Act, that the president agreed to support the DREAM Act, and that we would have to talk about the security part of it, and that was the agreement we had. The bill is the DREAM Act. That's really important because there are all kinds of little versions.
Is that still true?
The DREAM Act. The president has never told it is not. It is not true. And in fact, since you quoted Mick Mulvaney, I'll quote him again. The next day, he told the press, yes, that's what happened last night.
But there's been some back and off after it. But let's get to an audience question.
He hasn't backed off to us. The president hasn't.
All right. Let's get to an audience question. Adrian Reyna, you have a question about this. Tell us about yourself and what's your question.
Thank you. Leader Pelosi, I'm a DACA beneficiary, and I am terrified that a deal with Trump would mean that even if it protects me and my sisters who also have DACA, would enable Trump's mass deportation agents to go after my family. Yeah. We need a solution, and we need it soon. Do you commit to pass a Clean Dream Act before December?
Yes. And let me tell you what actually, you may recall that when we had this arrangement with the president, he called the next day, and I said, early in the morning, and I said, Mr. President, you have to, it's very important for you to send a message to our dreamers that you're not going after them, not to worry about this, because this is a worry we all have. Our dreamers, they make America dream again. They're so lovely, and we frankly owe a debt to your parents for bringing you here to be such a brilliant part of our future, a constant reinvigoration of America. That's what newcomers are. With your courage, with your optimism, with your commitment to making their commitment to making the future better for their children. That's what Americans are all about. And so our concern was everyone else's concern. If the dreamers come forward, their families are exposed for bringing them here. But we made a decision in 2010. We passed the DREAM Act in the House of Representatives. So I was Speaker. We passed the DREAM Act. It got a majority in the Senate, but it couldn't get 60 votes, the same old thing. It couldn't get 60 votes, so we've been fighting that fight all along. It was an exception because all along we had been saying we want to have comprehensive immigration reform. But at that time, the community said, we've got to protect the dreamers. Our concern is that the information that you have given as dreamers, the families that you've now made to, must be protected.
Well, you got people like Steve King who say that they'll only give protection to people like you if you tell them information about your parents. So obviously
well, that's
that
not
would be.
used to anybody like.
But there's a
King
part
as
of
an
that party.
example
There's
of
a part of that party. That's why it was such a quick yes,
Yeah.
which I know put a smile on your face,
Yeah.
Adrian. But how
Yeah.
can you be confident
Yeah.
that you can have a clean bill on this without any add-ons that wind up exposing people to risk?
Well, let me say that what we've said to the dreamers, first of all, the president should never have done what he did in terms of giving the 6 month this or that. He's revoking it, giving 6 months for us to pass a bill. He should never have done that. It was an inhumane thing to do. But that's when we went to see him and said, hey, if we're going to have a values-based relationship, this is our threshold. This is our threshold, protecting these dreamers in our country, because they have come forward, they have revealed their parents, they've revealed their information, and the president I think, not because, as I say, Chuck Schumer had good table manners, it's because the American people believe in you. And overwhelmingly, the American people in the high 80s, 90s believe that the Dreamers should stay here. Overwhelming majority believe on a path to citizenship. The remainder to legalization. I believe in citizenship. So I think the president is not responding to us, but only, but he's responding to the American people and to the beauty of the inspiration that you are to our country. So we just have to be optimistic because President Obama did what he did very beautifully and protected the parents. President Bush took us back and now saying we want to see Congress take action. We have to. That's, as I say, our threshold issue.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more of CNN's Town Hall with leader Nancy Pelosi. Please stay with CNN.